The story of South Central neighborhood and Thomas Park Avondale are very similar to many neighborhoods in the United States that have experienced a time of disinvestment.
I remember this neighborhood back when my dad used to work at the old Chevy plant. Then the neighborhood was very different. Seemed like there were a lot more homeowners.
They had all kinds of sort of vital things going on within the community.
When the factories closed, all these people, started losing their homes. People started just leaving.
We have a number of homes that are abandoned. One home across the street is burned out. It has not been boarded up. It's just an attraction for homeless individuals to camp out in, drug usage all around.
As a resident of South Central, you begin to question, do people remember that we're here?
I was part of a movement that came here about 11 years ago. Several young couples moved into the neighborhood. Our understanding was that the neighborhood had been a place where people could live and work and worship right in this area. And that had changed in Muncie's recent history. We moved in as a way to help reinvest in this neighborhood, to make it our home and to take on the issues of the neighborhood such that if the roads are bad here, there are roads that are bad, and so we will work to better the neighborhood by making it our own and becoming part of it and knowing our neighbors.
The Baldwin Foundation, through its concentrated focus model, targeted the Ross Center as a hub that the neighborhood sorely needed.
We took this area and had this idea of really putting grant funding into one area and then expanding beyond that, both ourselves as Baldwin Foundation funding and then helping to disseminate information on what we were doing and see if there are other partners out there.
Early on in our visits, we formed a relationship with Muncie Habitat for Humanity and found that we shared a common vision on what a resident-driven neighborhood revitalization effort should look like.
For Vectren Foundation to show up in Muncie and to begin to encourage us and support us and to begin to draw people together has changed our perception of what can actually happen when organizations, when residents, and when funders come together to collaboratively work towards quality of place in one specific area.
In 2016, we had a number of really amazing initiatives that happened. We had 2 houses completely rehabilitated. We have a house that's being rebuilt in the neighborhood.
All these homes that have been boarded up, we've painted windows and doors to make it look like someone's living there.
We had a pocket park developed.
I remember the day that the pocket park was completed. The kids were out there on the equipment, like almost as it's being put in. It's great to see you fulfilling something that was a felt need actually in the neighborhood. Like the kids wanted a place to play, and as soon as it's there, they're like on it.
We had an urban garden.
There's one in my neighborhood of South Central, and then we just installed one here in Thomas Park Avondale as well.
Just this last weekend, we had a number of residents that were working on an artistic crosswalk project. So they were in there painting the crosswalk to identify this area as a neighborhood.
It's so much easier for organizations to invest and become a part of something when there's a movement toward positive things.
I think if folks, particularly corporations, look at this through a different set of lenses, I think there's great value for corporations to be at the table. And I think with some creative thinking, there's a value proposition that makes sense that if we can get one boat to rise, all boats will rise.
Residents began to recreate a new story, a story of investment where there was disinvestment, and a story of hope where there was hopelessness.
Tremendous amount of pride and hope for the future for this neighborhood.
Just walking down the sidewalk, you can sense that people are beginning to be hopeful.
A new light, a new hope for their neighborhood, a new story that can be told, and it's one that's transformative and is going to truly have impact in our area, but the whole of Muncie as well.